in the Torah reading of Tazria talks about the special laws that are incumbent upon a woman who has just given birth to a child, whether it be a boy or a girl. Among them is the requirement that after a certain period of time, she has to bring sacrifices, two kinds. One is the olah, the burnt offering, which is completely consumed on the altar, and the other one is called the chatas, which is a sin offering that a person has to bring when they commit various significant sins. Of course, the question arises, why does a woman have to bring a sin offering after she's given birth to a child? The fact of the matter is, that's one of the greatest mitzvos. The most wonderful thing a person can do is to bring a new individual into the world. So that's the question. What sin has she committed? The rabbis say, and I don't think this should be taken literally, that in the course of the pain, she goes through excruciating pain in childbirth, and she utters a curse against her husband, and she doesn't want to go back to be with him again, to become pregnant and have more children, and so on and so forth. So she needs to be, that's like the sin, and she needs an atonement. However, this itself can't be taken literally. It's very, very difficult because not every woman curses. That's not a universal experience. She may go through pain, and she may be upset, and she may say things that she doesn't want to say in normal circumstances, but she didn't take an oath necessarily. And even if she did, a person under duress, that's only human. Sometimes a person says things they don't mean, but because of the great pain, so then do they require an atonement? I think there's a deeper idea over here. And we're not taking their words literally. It is to say that even when a person is involved in a good deed and doing good things, but the stress, the circumstances, the disappointments, the pain can cause them to have certain emotional feelings, negative, and to say certain things. It can produce a certain state of negativity which can be harmful to the person himself. So they have to atone for that. They have to undergo teshuvah, repentance. Repentance is not just when you're guilty, when you've done the wrong thing and you're guilty. It's also for the cleansing of the soul to elevate. Sometimes you haven't done anything wrong. Sometimes, in fact, you may have done a good deed. In fact, King David fought the wars of the Lord. These were wars of mitzvah. It was a big mitzvah to fight the wars of the enemies of the Jews and save the Jewish people. Yet God said that you can't build the Holy Temple because you've been too involved with blood, so to speak. Not that he was being condemned. He did the right thing. He did a mitzvah. But being a warrior brings out certain aspects of the personality. May tend to make a person more aggressive. He has no choice. He has to fight the war. But then afterwards, he wants to look within himself. He wants to rectify the imbalances that were brought about by the activity that he was engaged in. And I think that's what the Torah is teaching over here. The woman has done a great thing, and she deserves a lot of credit, but we're concerned about her. She should check herself. The experience is very complex, very complicated emotionally, and therefore she should reinstate herself with the proper understanding. Let's hope it did not cause any serious distortions in terms of her relationship with God, in terms of her relationship with the world. So it's important sometimes for a person to go through some type of a cleansing experience on a purely spiritual level, and even when they didn't do a sin, even when they were doing good things. But nevertheless, it's very complicated, and various emotions come out, and we say certain things. In the course of an ordinary day, I'm sure a person says many things that he doesn't like. He should check himself from time to time, once or twice a week. Just review certain conversations you may have had, and even though you feel entitled, but just because somebody insulted you, does that necessarily give you a right to say anything you want to say? Bear in mind, you're harming yourself. That should be the guiding light of a person. We don't want to sin, not so much we don't want to hurt other people, but the ultimate person who loses, the ultimate loser from any sin is the person himself. And it's important for a person always to be very concerned about his divine image, the soul, and as much as possible to keep himself in a state where he's able to serve God in the proper way.